Meghan McCain is frustrated with the vaccine rollout. And not for the reasons that you would suspect, because obviously we're talking about Meghan McCain here. In a recent episode of The View, she acknowledged that we've hit a devastating and awful milestone. 500,000 Americans have died from this pandemic, but she couldn't help but still try to make this story about her. Let's watch.
I don't understand the downplaying of getting the vaccine, because right now we should be wanting as many Americans as possible to get a vaccine. The fact that I, Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, I don't know when or how I will be able to get a vaccine, because the rollout for my age range and my health is so nebulous. I have no idea when and how I can get it. I want to get it. If you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will go any place at any time to get it.
I mean, okay, Meghan, you're gonna probably get it before most people your age should get it, right? We're about the same age. I think she's like a year or two older than me. Doesn't matter, same age group. I'm expecting to get the vaccine in the summer. And I find myself to be an incredibly privileged, lucky person because I get to work from home, just like Meghan McCain does. Shut up. Just shut up. She just cannot, shut up. Why can't she understand how unbelievably callous and like selfish she is? She just doesn't get it. Shut up. You're lucky, you're privileged, you're working from home, you're raking in the dough, doing something that you're not qualified to do. Why are you complaining right now? I mean, we have elderly people in the country who haven't gotten the vaccines yet. My mom, who has a kidney transplant, hasn't been able to get the vaccine yet. People who will actually die, 100%, it's certain that they'll die if they get this virus. They have not gotten vaccinated yet. So like, I'm sorry, Meghan, that you're the host of The View, and you should be treated differently from everyone else, but just shut up, just shut up. God. Cenk, go ahead.
To be fair, it was really hard to work her dad into that story. So given that
it's amazing. It's amazing that she like says these things out loud, Cenk. She says it out loud and she's like, I got it. I'm gonna say this on the show and no one's gonna think there's anything wrong with me thinking that I should be treated differently than everyone else. Okay, because I am Meghan McCain, daughter of Senator John McCain, and I know nothing, but it doesn't matter. I'm conservative, and it's hard to be a conservative on this show. Shut up. You're embarrassing.
So now Anna did that accent, and you think, well, is that really fair? Well, one of the things she said in that same segment was, I'm over Dr. Fauci.
I can't.
You can't. Don't look, you can't say it that way, and I can't even. So look,
not okay.
It's just not okay. Okay, things that are not okay, you, Meghan, and the way you talk. No, but seriously, when we talk about the way she talks, we're not talking about accent or she's. I don't really care that she says I'm over Dr. Fauci. I care about the substance of it. I don't care how she stated it. But in this one case, when she says, I, Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, have still not gotten the vaccine, that actually does matter. It matters in how you're phrasing that sentence. At a bare minimum, you should be cognizant that you sound incredibly arrogant. And you sound like you are saying that you are owed privileges that the commoners are not owed. And the fact that you can't hear it shows you how long you have lived in the bubble of the elites. And to you that it's a normal thing. And to be fair to Meghan, in her perspective, people are usually kissing her ass 24/7. And people 100%. Have told her whole life that being the daughter of John McCain is something that's not only really important, but that gives her merit. Like she deserves to be praised because she's the daughter of, and honestly, it's worked that way for her. It's a little Trumpian. Everything she's ever gotten is because she's the daughter of John McCain. And so she thinks, duh, that's why I'm great, because I'm part of the privileged elites. She doesn't say privileged elites. She's just internalized it. So that's why a sentence like that would pop out. Like, can you imagine me saying, I, Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks, hasn't even gotten the vaccine yet? No, you can't imagine that because that's absurd. And I would never say that because it involves an assumption that I do not have in my head. So,
right.
Because
can I just say,
yeah.
She's upset about the fact that she hasn't gotten clarity on when she specifically will have access to the vaccine. But she's also frustrated that Fauci is unwilling to tell her what she wants to hear, because one of the things she wants to know is, once you get the vaccine, is it safe for you to like go out, go to bars, go to restaurants, and like not have to worry about contracting the virus? And Fauci is like, the science wasn't there yet, and so there's more data coming in regarding like what you can safely do after you get the vaccine. But she was furious that Fauci couldn't give her clarity on that and make a statement about it before he had the facts. Oh, is life hard because you can't go out with your friends? You want to go to a bar? Yeah, me too. So does like everyone else. Everyone wants to see loved ones, family members. They want to go out with their friends. Everyone wants normalcy again. But then there are a lot of people who have, like, that's the thing that amazes me, right? I mean, this pandemic has been tough on everyone. And when I think about some of the stuff that's happened, to me personally throughout this whole thing, including losing one of my closest friends, not to COVID, but through this pandemic, not being able to go to his funeral, like all of this stuff, thinking my mom had COVID when she was hospitalized from a different health issue, not being able to talk to her for days or know like what her condition was. It's just been like an awful experience. But throughout all of it, I've had like this, the foundation of gratitude, because man, at the end of the day, we're lucky. Like we have each other, we still have our jobs. There are people out there who are suffering so much, people who don't have the luxury of working from home, people who are frontline workers and haven't had access to the vaccine yet. They're literally putting their lives at risk to do their jobs because their jobs are essential to our lives. And Meghan McCain sitting there thinking like, oh, when will I be able to have a cocktail? Just shut up. Stop talking.
Shut up. Yeah. So last things here, because on the substance, it's important to point this out. What she was upset about in regards to Fauci was when he was asked, after you get a vaccine, you still have to have masks, especially if you're going to see loved ones. Now, as it turns out, the science on that is not 1,000% in, partly because 1,000% is not a thing in science. So he was hesitant to answer on national TV because he didn't want to say something wrong. That's what good doctors and scientists do. They are certain before they answer, or they give you some guidelines for what could happen, right? So now the reality is, for me, from what I've read, and I'm not Dr. Fauci, I'm not an expert, I'm just telling you based on my analysis of what I have read. After you get double vaccinated, you get both shots, you're done. Look, consult an actual doctor and scientist, but you don't need the mask anymore. That's the point of the vaccine. But Fauci doesn't want to say that because he's not 100% sure. Actually, one of the best studies comes from Israel because they've been so quick to vaccinate. And that study also indicates, no, you not only are less likely to get it, you're also less likely to transmit it. And hence why you don't need the mask. And when I say less likely, way, way less likely. So, and by the way, the number of cases have gone down by 76% in the last 6 weeks, both because people are getting vaccinated and because so many people have had it. And finally, she was mainly complaining that Israel's done this much faster than us. Now, Meghan, do you want to know why? Because Israel has socialized medicine. And so they have clinics all over Israel that have a lot less bureaucracy. You just go into your clinic, and since everyone has healthcare, you can just get the shots. Here, we're like, okay, who's gonna get paid? Which executive's gonna get their money first? And there's this, there's that, there's a billion like bureaucratic hoops to jump through, etc. Right? So if you really want us to be as good as Israel in medicine, then you would be for socialized medicine like Medicare for all. If you're not gonna be for that, then I'm not interested in your analysis of Dr. Fauci or how important you think you are and how we should get the vaccine to you specifically before anyone else. Spare us.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.